Well, hello there, everybody. It is Happy Tuesday.
Mhm.
And we hope that you are happy. If you're not happy, we're going to make you happy. And if you don't like being happy, well, just suck it up, Cupcake, because this is the happy hour. And we're serving 5 for 1 drinks. So, whatever it is you like, you'll get 5 of them at the same time. Anyway, folks, I'm just kidding. It is Tuesday, and this is a second look. And if you're here, well, you have fulfilled your part of your destiny. So give yourself a pat on the back. Before we get started, we just want to say, favor be upon us all. Nothing missing, nothing broken, because it really does work. Now, if you're just out starting to speak favor over your life. Well, it takes a while to build a house, so never give up because eventually you'll move into the house and then it becomes like a house. And that's what favor is. It just kind of wraps around you. So anyway, we love you. Thank you all in the chat room. We have a special guest, as y'all may recognize, Caz. She is with us. And Jenny
Good
is stuck
morning.
in traffic. And Jenny, we're just saying, hey girl, honk the horn for us. Well,
Yeah.
no, you might get someone with a road rage. But anyway, we love you, Jenny. And of course, my lovely co host for many years, Miss Trina. How are you, dear?
I am wonderful. So good to be here.
It is good to be here. A lot
Yeah.
of good people. Cass, thank you coming on because we haven't seen you for a little while. And
Mhm.
wow, you've had a few adventures.
Tell me about it.
No, you're going to tell us about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I'm
How you
trying
been,
not to
Cass? You're
talk
looking
about
beautiful as always.
Thank you.
Now, folks, there's about a 5 second delay. So when Cass is hearing us understand, she's living in our past, but we're her future.
Mhm.
Oh, shit, Cass. I don't know.
That's the other way around, I think.
So,
You're seven
Cass,
and
how you
I'm at
been?
nine. Absolutely fantastic. I'm on holiday at the minute, so I've got time for myself. That's why I've got time to be with you, because normally
Yeah.
I'd be at work. So that's why I haven't been able to get on.
How is the
Yeah.
job?
The job's great. I actually tell a little. I did something naughty. I actually bunked off work to go to this event because they wouldn't allow me the time off. So I thought I'm not missing it. So I had to fake
Well, you did
a
well.
sprained ankle, which I kept forgetting how to limp on that leg. I kept getting the leg wrong.
Hey,
But I
when that
did it.
happens, which leg was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, but how do you limp on your right leg? Yeah, so um yeah, it was all done with heart and love. So
Good. And a lot of people who don't know this, Kaz actually manifested this job um, going back years ago. And you remember when she did that, Trina? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was,
Mhm.
and it answered a lot for you and opened up a lot of doors. And you look like you're just doing fantastic, Kaz. Just
I
great color,
am.
great aura.
Thank you. I'm buying my house as well, so that's even
Yeah.
made me feel
Wow, way
more.
to
Isn't that
go.
wonderful?
Yeah. So it came up as the landlord was gave me first refusal, and as my dad passed last year, I'm able to do that. So yeah,
Fantastic. What can you say? That's prosperity.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And lots of transition and all all in alignment and all now completely benefiting you. It's
Yeah,
quite amazing.
so
The job, the house, you love where you live. It's just all of it. It just all
yeah,
worked out.
It's such a
yeah.
transformation.
Yeah.
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 It is a big one. Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, just
You
go
can
in the
go from down
archives
there.
and go back 5 years ago and you'll see
Yeah.
shows with Caz on here. And I hope that this gives everyone, hell, it ought to give you some hope, and you ought to be giving her a high five because
Yeah.
what she's done, you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. It takes work. It's hard to reprogram your mind because your mind, the subconscious is creating this. And
Yeah.
you got to know how to stop the part of you that is just reacting, responding, creating, but it's not really conscious. That's why you have to reprogram and you have to get into your own deep self and say, no, we're going to run it this way now. And every time your old patterns come in, you have to focus on your new creation and your new vision and the new,
Yeah.
basically new you. But when you do that and you start going forward with those actions, it does manifest.
It does.
It does.
Mhm.
I remember drawing the picture of the house I wanted, this one. And it's exactly the same. It's got the chimney, the stable door. It's got everything. It's got the daffodils in the place in the garden, the trees where the trees should be. And I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
I know, and it backs up to
I
the
do it.
forest. I mean, come on. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It's crazy. It's got the chimney, it's got the
Yeah.
fireplace, it's got the everything that I dream, but more and more. It's always and more.
So everybody, we're going to be at Cass's house on Friday. Give her a housewarming. Everybody, bring your own, but make sure you bring a little extra. So, Cass, we're bringing a huge party. Couple thousand people. Your house can handle it, no problem.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Bring it on. Yeah.
I'm so
Um,
excited for you, Cass. That in this day and age where, let's face it, I mean, it's just a shit show out there in so many different ways. But at the same time, you have these jewels, which you are, Cass, and we've been honored to be witnesses of this transformation. It's it's fantastic. That's all I can say.
It's
I'm so
I'm so
proud of you,
grateful
Cass.
for having you
You
guys with
just,
me.
you know, it's like, you're kind of like a father going, wow, she graduated. Now what?
There's always more. There's always more to manifest. I manifest for fun. Just just because I know I can do it. And it's like just things I've manifested recently is for my mushroom growing, I manifested a dehydrator for
hmm,
drying them.
Yeah.
And it was just like that was interesting. That came really quick. And I was speaking to one of my other spiritual friends who's like she reads souls, and she said, "You've got the power. You can manifest like that. You just got to think it, and it comes." I said, "I know," and it's like it's just weird. So I have to be careful what I'm manifesting as well,
yes.
because you can manifest things you don't want as well. Do you know what I mean? You got
I
to
think
sort
most
of
people have that ability more than manifesting their desires. They end up manifesting their fears. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
all,
they're manifesting the program that's running in the subconscious field, which basically is on experiential trauma, and it's very ego based because it's there to keep you safe and keep the body operating, for survival. I mean, that's the part of you that makes your heart beat and your eyes blink. You don't think about those things. It's just
mm-mm.
all doing what it's doing. And yeah, that's when you can restructure your thoughts to the level that Kaz did and focus on only potential and happiness and getting the things she wanted and working towards them, even when everything fell apart and she was like, oh God, what now? It's like focus on the new reality. She did it. And that's hard work because you got to get deep in there to make things really change in the material world. But when you believe it does start to show up. I wanted a bicycle and a barbecue, and I got both of those too, left in the front of a house with a free sign on them. I was like, well, see?
I see
Wow.
that.
I got Madonna playing in my
Yeah.
head, living in a material world.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. So you got to change you up here before you can
yeah,
get
yeah, you
here.
got to change that whole,
Yeah.
the Corona, it's like, if not,
Yeah.
um, Kaz, and I think in your case, and I believe I'm right in this. You also have tremendous favor of the dragons. So, um, because
Oh,
what
yeah.
was it about 4 years ago? That's when you actually captured that dragon flying in your neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah, that was an amazing
Yeah.
capture. It was. I didn't even know it was there. Just was taking photos as usual, and I didn't see it till I got home. And it was like, what is that? It was it was, you've seen it, well, I could bring it up later if you like. I could find
Yeah, I mean,
I can't believe you actually captured a dragon. It was amazing.
I know.
they're real folks.
It's
You know.
real. It's just, yeah.
Well, hello, everybody
That's
in
when you
the
know
chat room.
these things are
I'd
real.
manifest
I just
immortality
thought,
if my intent was pure. Uh, is that Logites? I think that's maybe how you pronounce that. How are you doing? Well, the thing is, we're all manifesting immortality because, in essence, we are immortal to a sense. To a sense, right? No, that's just me. Grandpa Brian, how are you doing, brother? Good to see you. Truth Wave, hello. I was totally singing that as well. See, this group's got this synchronicity.
Yeah,
So
it's really, really wow.
so I'm gonna think in my head of a song, and I'm thinking the name right now, and I can hear music, sweet, sweet music. Whenever you're with me, baby, everything's all right. All right, who sang that song? The
I
Beach
never
Boys.
know that. I never know that answer. I'm terrible at that game.
All right, well, you're not coming on Jeopardy with me.
I
I
know the
mean,
song, but the name the person. Oh, I really struggle with that. I struggle with that with real
that's
life. Name
yeah.
block, but face, never forget your face. But names, oh poof.
Back in the
yeah.
day when I lived in Knoxville, we used to have pool parties because that's where I lived was the pool. And there was another guy, Bob, great guy. And anyway, we got this thing where we brought out a DJ and had this big pool party, and we had literally the music trivia. Yeah. We kicked ass. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, friends like you, Wayne, walking jukebox.
Well, that's what my wife says, but it's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I love it. So that's how
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah.
yeah, I know they know the date when the band started. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they know their music.
And I think that's probably because I don't know. I think so many of us are, that's what we are in essence. We're vibration, right?
Yeah, and music brings you to an
It
emotional
does.
state of being, and you can literally pick the music for the feeling, and that is a powerful tool to manifest things you want.
I never went out for sports, but I
Yeah.
did learn to play a music instrument, 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I
You know,
upload all my music in 432 hertz, even like the old songs I like.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm because when I hear at work, they have the radio blasting, so you sort of can't get away from it while you're scanning in the warehouse. And the 440, it just winds me up. I just can't handle it, and I can't wait to get away from it.
I
It's really
love
weird
it.
how it makes me agitated now when I hear
Uh,
music in 440. So everything that I like, every song I like, I just put it through the converter on my Mac, and so I've got it in 432, and then I can
That's
listen to
Excellent.
it
brilliant.
again.
So
Yeah,
there's actually
brilliant.
an
Yeah,
app that you can use to actually
yeah.
up the. Wow, that's
Convert.
pretty cool.
Yep.
It's free, and it changes anything like to 528, 369, 432,
Wow.
whatever you like.
Yeah.
Well, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Hello, Jules, all the way down from
Hey,
Australia.
Jules. I do too. I think
Hi,
energy
Jules.
medicine, based on vibration, this is going to be the new amazing stuff coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There is so much happening. And again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Because Kaz, I had you on because you're I'm gonna let you tell the story. And all I know is this, that the government, the United States government, and I am sure the UK government, I'm sure with the rest of them, they are in panic mode right now. I don't give a damn if it's Trump or Biden. Doesn't matter. They're just puppets. The real masters they know that the clock is being run out on them. And many of you follow Ben Davidson. I mean, come on, YouTube. When you cut off a guy doing a live stream merely because he's bringing out the evidence, come on, that's fucked up. YouTube,
Yeah.
get your head out of your ass and
And
allow the truth to come out. God damn
what
it.
if we really want to know?
Yeah.
There
And
are
who the
some of
hell are
the,
you, YouTube? Are you God?
yeah, we
Who's
want
the
to
arbitrator
know.
of the truth, YouTube? Is it Google? Google, are you trying to tell me, Alphabet, that you're the only ones that control the truth? Well, fuck you,
Yeah, we want to
because it's
know.
the people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
And
get
we want
riled
to
up
even
about this,
be
you
able
know?
to say what we want, even if we find out that maybe we were wrong, because we should be allowed to explore thought. And,
Well, the fact is, he's just bringing out the natural fact. That the fact is that the
yeah,
poles on the Earth are moving. We've got
yeah,
UFOs, ships, crafts, probes, whatever they are,
Yeah.
showing up in mass. You've got groups of people now meeting on shores and waiting for the arrival. And then the freaking military, and I'm stealing a little bit of your Thundercast, they know about it. And then boom, it's there. You got Dr. Stephen Greer, who's been out there forever trying to tell it. And now Trump doesn't know what to do because this is going to blow the golden age called a hell and back because guess what? They're here. And the earth is changing. It's like Zuckerberg said in his interview recently. They asked, well, why are you building a bunker? He said, well, it's really not, it's just someplace I like to go.
shelter.
Yeah, and the woman that says you're lying. Why did you build $100 million bunker?
Uh-huh.
So, Chaz, I'm going to turn this part of the show, and YouTube, it sucks. You shouldn't do that. And I'm speaking specifically with Ben Davidson. He didn't have anything that was not verifiable.
Yeah,
And I don't like Gestapo, YouTube. I don't. We follow the community rules here, but the problem with the community rules is that they're so arbitrary and ambiguous, it's hard to determine what the community rules are.
they're constantly changing.
They are. I've been on this
Yeah,
platform, 11 years coming in June on this channel alone, and the dystopian attitude of YouTube is just gotten in YouTube. That's why you're losing market share.
yeah,
You know, figure it out. It isn't that hard.
yeah.
Okay, watch them start ghosting me again. We ain't gonna let him back out. Um,
Right. It's
so
so bad.
Cat, it is so bad.
Yeah,
Um,
censorship is like not good for anybody in any kind of growth. I mean, it's just it's a fundamental thing of part of being a curious,
yeah, I
human.
mean that's what most people. There's a lot of people that use the platform for fun games, whatever. But there's some
Mhm.
of us who are serious knowledge seekers.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
just giving a little bit everybody here. I have actually been in touch with Jason Archeric, is that right?
Archaics.
Archaic, yeah. You
Yeah,
always get that. So it looks like, going to be honored to have him on here. But his story, they don't like either. It's like, well, gee. So I see
And it
you
doesn't
two, you
follow
like
the
the numb
flow
mining,
of indoctrination. He's on his own
Ah,
little river, and they're like, wait, wait, wait.
I can't,
Can't have that.
so,
We don't know what that even is. No. Yeah.
so I am excited. Jason, hoping that we can get everything. He's a busy guy and,
Yeah.
so we're excited about that. So
Yeah.
Kaz, um, you had an experience recently. And I find this experience unique because it just wasn't you. It was a large group,
Mm.
It's 2,000, over 2,000 people.
over 2,000 people. So, Kaz,
That's a
I am
pretty
going,
large group.
Yeah,
that's really, so
yeah.
I'm going to pull this up. This is your channel. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to Kaz's channel, my question is, why? Why haven't you? Come on, show a little love.
Yeah, well,
Show her.
Mhm.
I mean, come on. Give her a high five. Give her a big hug. And you can do that by subscribing, sharing, and liking.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm in romper room. So let's get the mirror out.
thank
Okay. So, Kaz, I've got you pulled up here, and I'm just going to let you tell your story as I get this, and you can give us the background on it. How did this happen? And as we allow this to play, tell us what happened.
you. Right. So basically, I went down to Eastbourne in the UK for the GISIC, Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection, which is organised by Danny Henderson. Her channels are in the links below this video playing. And she had organised for JP, who's ex-army, to call in his connection with the spacecraft, because he's a guy that can it regularly, and
So Jason
he
calls
was a
in.
speaker at the conference.
He can actually, and we had, remember we had John Moore on?
He can call them at his connection.
Yeah. And folks, there is a delay in the video. I'm seeing it more and more. And we know why they do that.
Yeah,
So, Kaz, continue to talk, hon.
yeah.
Because we're overcomers. We can overcome this.
So yeah, I went down with Caro, Patrick's wife, who used to do Talking with the Planets.
Really? So
And
how
we
is
travelled down there
Patrick these
together.
days?
They're great. They're so happy. I stayed with them overnight after the event. Um, yeah, they're married now, so
I'm so
Caro's
happy.
been
We're going to
living
have
with
to
it
get
for over a
Patrick. I don't
year
know if you'd ever
now.
want to do that again, but the talking with the planets,
I don't
that
know.
Amazing.
was, I haven't
Yeah.
seen anyone in the years after
So
that. What's that, Kaz?
no, I was just going to say the spacecraft are from the Galactic Federation of Worlds, not light. If there's a psyop out there to do with this, to cause confusion, as always, when you hear of the Galactic Federation of Light, that's the deep state version. And that's a distraction to pull you away from the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which are the legit, true connection that the White Hats are working with in the military and have been for a long time. They're working together to bring disclosure to the planet, to the people. And this is the start, doing subtly, not bringing fear. It's all done with the most delicate, in the most delicate way. And yeah, this was the first ship that came in, and it was like an orange orb ship. And it came in, after JP had put the call out, and it was there for at least 20 minutes more, and it was just mind-blowing. You know what I mean? It was, everyone started filming, and that's when my camera started to glitch and stuff, you know.
Now, how many people were
Um,
here? You said over 2,000?
yeah,
That's
there
a
was
big event.
750 from the conference,
Yeah.
and then the rest came because it was a free event. It'd been advertised for months before,
Yep.
stating what was going to happen, and the tickets are sold out at the conference. So Danny said, I want you here in the millions. Come to Eastbourne Beach. Come and see with your own eyes the spacecraft being called in from the Galactic Federation. And it happened. And there was a TR-3B there too, which is a military spacecraft that isn't meant to exist, that flew right over our heads.
So there was military activity
And then
here as
there
well,
was,
right?
Mm-hmm.
yes, they had a military escort because there was a delay of the ships coming in, because they had to, basically the military wanted to make sure everything was safe. They knew it was going on, and they wanted to make sure air traffic control were all right with it, right? And then they had a military escort as it came in.
Now, I have another video,
So,
the first one that
and
you sent.
yeah. And it was like, that was the only way they'd allow this to happen.
Interesting.
It was going to happen anyway, but we sort of made it, you know, agreed with their ways, because, you know, you didn't want any clash with the military, do you, really, at the end of the day?
Typically not.
And you want to keep everybody happy, so. But not a peep squeak in the on the mainstream media about this.
And so this orb just hung up in the sky, right?
Yeah, it was there. It sort of came in, and it got sort of brighter, and it stayed its distance, and it was there for crikey ages. And then all of a sudden I turned round, I said something to Caro, turned round, and it had gone. And we were like, where's it gone? It just vanished. It just demanifested like that. And we were like, whoa. And then there was this sort of bit of a gap, and me and Caro went closer to where the gathering was, where Danny and the speakers were set up. Mm-hmm. And another one came over, which is in the first one. And that came over really low. And that's when she's speaking about, over the speakers, can you see the spacecraft in the sky, everyone?
Yeah.
And
yeah, I'm pulling up the second video, folks, so that you can see exactly
that way. And this one changed color.
So I'm going to kind of move it for you, Caz, to where the event actually starts.
Yeah, move it to the start. Yeah.
About 13:08, I think. There we go. So this is the beginning of this. Don't know why it did.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, here we go. So YouTube is just, wow, this is just, all right. So what are we seeing here?
Right. The light, the single light at the top, that was another craft that came in, and it came in really low, right over the crowd. Well, as low as you can call low. And it was changing colour. It was like changing from green to blue to purple. I actually took some still shots of this. I've got them in a file if you want to look at them later. But yeah, this was one that came in the second time, the second craft. And when stuff is being at night, I mean, this doesn't do it justice, you know. It
Sure
is
doesn't. Yeah.
so, like, as you know, you've got to be there to get the full potential of something like that. And to film at night with the with your phone, it's quite difficult. But we did our best to bring what we saw there. And now this one's with the night vision, which I was picking up things that nobody else could see, because I think I was probably the only one there with the night vision. And the 3 stars directly under the moon, which you couldn't pick up with a normal phone because of it was full moon, so it was really bright. And I put an example on there to show where they are. And yeah, these 3 stars, they were just stayed there for ages. And I thought
A
I'd
big
put that
ship.
in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about
It
it.
was
It's
massive. That
yeah.
was big. And I had a comment. I had a comment today from on this video, and somebody that did the research and said, "Well, I checked the astrology for the planets on that day, and there were definitely no planets under the moon." So he says, "Thank you for your beautiful message." You know, it's like, thank you for doing your research, you know, and looking into these things too.
So did the orange did the orb come in
Yeah,
after you saw the triangle ship, the TR3V?
it,
Um,
the triangle. It sort of kept. They were sort of there at the same time, just sort of crossing. It was towards the end of this one when this one went, and then I still, because my phone was playing up, I got the night vision out and carried on with that because it was getting really dark.
mm-hmm.
And that's when I noticed the 3 lights under the moon. And it was really hard to pick them up because of the brightness of the moon. It was
Sure. Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
you sort of had to catch it. Yeah,
Now, you had talked about
yeah.
JP calling them
So,
in, and I know there's a delay. So, um, was that just something that is it like much like I've seen these others who can do that? Is it just something they begin to meditate on, focus
it's just,
in on?
yeah, he was, his connection in the army is to bring disclosure. He has them, so he has to wear a helmet. His face is always covered to hide his identity, to protect him and his family. And he's retired from the military now. He's only young, but he's took a step back, but he still goes on missions. And basically his connection with the white hats in high military places that are working with the Galactic Federation of Worlds, he's he's um, he's a special in the army because of his abilities. He's got a lot of abilities where he can connect with through his abilities. He's got, you know, he was one of the few that could get onto the space arcs. A lot of other of the group, the military group, could not pass a certain point because he connected through his heart and his consciousness, and that's how you can get access to like these space arcs that are been on Earth thousands of years, and only certain people can get on them because you're connected through consciousness, through DNA, and JP's one of these connections. So he's got he's been, oh, crikey, it's really worth subscribing to his channel, which the links are in them videos. He's just got, it was his turn to call them in, because the first conference was done in Colorado last year in September, where fleets of craft flew over a no-fly zone, no drone zone, where NORAD is in Colorado, and it was arranged as this one was on a certain date at a certain time by, this time, Elena Danan, who was at the conference, called them in with her connection, and it's all videoed. All the videos are put on the website of Magick. That links in the videos as well, and you can see them videos, and you watch a fleet actually fly. It's recorded by night vision. I think there's 4 or 5 craft in the fleet that fly over the Westminster Hotel in Colorado, over a no-fly zone and no drone zone. So it was basically permission, and a TR3 came straight really low over, uncloaked, cloaked, and it's all on video. And that was last year. That was the first conference. There's only been 2 Magick, and it's all to do with bringing the truth to the people.
So what is the end goal here on these conferences? I mean, are there representatives of the Galactic, what was the Galactic Council? Is that
they're all, it's a conference where the people that have real fact, real truth, real evidence come and speak and present their evidence, even off-world technology, everything that you can't talk about because it's censored and it gets brought down. It's a conference that brings all these speakers to connect and together to present all the new free energy that's coming in, the technology that's come off world, and it's like a whole weekend of speakers, and they have 2-3 hours each to talk. It's not like a really short gap.
I'd like to ask
all,
go ahead. There's this delay. It's like, so let me ask you something, Caz, on this. So obviously they're here, and they, I don't think, is just a single species. I think there may be many. We know that there are certain natural disasters in cycles that happen. I think according to Jason, it's pretty regular. Like about every 135, 36 years, something like I was just reading.
There's small ones and then there's bigger
Yeah,
ones. Yeah.
yeah. And, if you follow the catastrophe or cataclysm theory, that it's every 12,000 years with minor events taking place every 6. So for me, as an observer, I'm seeing all these different moving pieces, and they're all centered around the fact that Earth is about to have a change. Whether you want to say it's a magnetic pole reversal, whether you want to say it's a magnetic pole excursion, whether you want to say that the sun is in a cycle, something is about to happen. And all these dates seem to be filing in at this time. I guess my question would be to these off-worlders, do they have a plan to save humanity? Are they just going to allow nature to happen? What do you think?
I don't think we win until we realize that we manifest the reality on the planet.
But will we have enough time to do that, Trina?
Huh?
Will we actually have enough time to do that?
I think we've already, enough people do have that awareness. So I do think, because all the projections out that I can see, it's ever since I was born, you came here to win, and we're going to win.
Well, I get that, but I
Yeah,
also see the science, the magnetic poles we now know are, well, north is about to hit Russia. The south is now off the continent of Antarctica.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if humans have the ability to go against the laws of nature and change something because I think that that's dishonest.
They talk about the rapture. They talk
Oh, I
about,
know about the rapture. I can give you
people
scripture
just
and
gonna,
verse and
get
Thessalonians on
sucked
that.
up and saved. I wonder if that's a quantum dimensional shift. You see what I'm saying? I see a lot
Hmm.
of different potentials for what could potentially be happening on this planet. And when you look at the potential now with jumping timelines, going through portals, wormholes, all this different quantum entanglement, but moving, through that net of entanglement. It looks like the mandala might be us jumping timelines, collapsing other realities into each other through quantum entanglement. And that's why the memories get whacked out. If that's all really happening, if this planet was to be destroyed, what if you as a consciousness just immediately recreate into a new realm that's not going through that?
You see, I
And
don't
what if,
think the world's going to be destroyed. I think we will be. I think the world's going to be just fine.
well,
She's
yeah, I think
gone.
that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
the Earth, she could do
yeah.
without humans.
Oh, yeah, just fine.
She'd be just fine. Like,
I'm like, yeah, I
we're
think just
paying,
fine.
aren't we?
well,
But I had this
Since
strange feeling that she was going to be ascending for the first time ever, but with humanity on it. And it was a big experiment, I guess. But I think that's the
I
potential.
don't know. When you
well,
think
she's
about the
ascending.
It's
the
jump.
gold race, the silver race, the bronze race, and then and
Mhm.
us, um, and I tell y'all, I have had visions of where I've been looking up at the sky, and then all of a sudden, like someone turned on the switch, and folks, there are freaking a lot of ships up there. I've seen this so often. Then they're going to turn off
There
their
is.
cloaking technology, and we're going to go, what? Am I?
Well,
How do you
you
see
won't
that,
believe how
Caz?
many. I just see. The basically the sky is full of cloaked ships.
Yeah,
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 and people that pay attention to the sky notice can notice a cloaked ship that is trying to be a cloud sort of thing.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like they stand out. The colours are different. The shades are different, and you get the eye for them, and they're everywhere. They are everywhere, and it's like um, there's a lot of these talks of which is on the Magick, Danny Henderson's channel, who puts these conferences on. There's a lot of speakers that talk about this that bring proof of being in the Mars programs that have been took 20 years of their been there for 20 years and put back in,
Well, that's what Laura
take
Eisenhower was saying.
Tony Rodriguez,
Yeah.
and he's and it's like with Earth and all this with Ben and everything that he's saying, the Galactic Federation of Worlds have, you won't believe how many times they've deflected the sun and protected Earth, shielded the Earth from really dangerous CMEs.
Yeah, I believe
Constantly,
that.
yeah.
I think we
They've
call it the Earth
intercepted a
facing
lot.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they they say don't stop, they said stop listening to the fear porn of solar flash. You're not going to get fried, there's a lot of protection there. Um, basically, the all you've got to focus on is raising your frequency, because Earth is ascending whether you like it or not. And if you the higher your frequency, the more easy your journey will be. And if for all those that are fighting it and that are living in ignorance, can never say that word, it's going to be a tough journey for them because the planet's frequency changes and we're part of that frequency. And if you're fighting it, it's not going to be a comfortable ride, you know. So the best thing is to raise your frequency with Earth, connect with Earth is the biggest key. Get your feet grounded on the Earth, make that connection back to Gaia.
It's just like,
Get out in
Wayne,
nature and connect.
Wayne, you have such a deep like frequency range because of your experiences with the ministry and the speaking of tongues, and those are some really high, powerful frequencies. And you also meet some of the really darkest frequencies when you're trying to heal people. So it's a very powerful range. And I don't know that that's a really rare thing. So like this is what we're talking about when we're talking about, can you handle the energy? Can you raise the vibration? Because it's like if you can't raise the vibration, it's like when an opera singer is going to sing at the glass. The form is going to wave for a while, but then it's going to explode. It's going to completely explode. So you got to be able to work these energies. And when you feel frequencies coming in and making things move faster, or you're feeling, you got to ground the energy. You got to learn to let it go through you, not hold it. Let it go through you.
Got
Let it drop. Let it go through you so you
to
don't
protect
short
yourself.
circuit, because you got to learn how to take these new energies, because I do think the frequency will change the matter. And I do think we're in for frequency shift.
So, ladies, the whole time
There's
y'all
a
been
lot.
talking, I had this literal vision in my head. So for some reason, I was taken to the story of when Jesus walked on the water. And if you know that the story, there was a storm raging supposedly on the Sea of Galilee. And that's when he walked to the boat, and Peter was the one that says, well, if it's really you, then let me come out and walk on the water with you. And the story goes that, and it's about frequency here because the Jesus
Mhm.
dude, he's already up to the high frequencies. He ain't seen no storm. He ain't seen
Yeah,
none of that shit.
yeah,
And so Peter says, "Well, let me come out, Lord." And he says, "Well, come on out." And so the interesting thing was Peter took a couple of steps and was able to walk until he began to look at the storm and the circumstances. That brought the frequency down.
doubt.
Bingo. And when that happened, that's when
Doubt.
he started
Mhm.
thinking in the water. So,
Yeah,
what a
yeah.
beautiful story. And one thing else,
Yeah.
Bonnie says the Latin word for rapture translates to being carried away or snatched up in theological context. And Bonnie, you're right. So let's
Yeah.
take it out of theological context and let's just put it into human terms. That sounds to me like an alien abduction or the ability to beam up many people of a certain frequency.
Mhm.
I don't know.
But what if it's beaming yourself up through your awareness and your consciousness, and it's the only way it's going to
I think
happen.
there's a lot of truth to that.
If you can't do it, you can't rise. So
Yeah,
it's about, can you raise that vibration to raise, because it will change your reality.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So the
It's
aliens, I
your
mean,
power, it's
are
your
they
frequency.
nefarious against us, Kaz? I mean, are they ambassadors? Are they part human? Are we a part of a much larger
They they look
family?
they look like you and me. They look just like us.
That's cool.
Some.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
yeah.
Some.
there are some that don't,
I've
but the
Yeah.
made love to a
majority
devil,
are
so I
maybe
guess I
their
could
eyes
see
are a
an
bit more
alien coming
blue,
in.
their hair, they're all drop dead gorgeous. They've sorted their genetics out.
Her name was Karen, but anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
That's those
if you
are
I ain't
if
lying
you want to
either.
know, if you want to know what they look like, if you want to know what they look like and what more about them, on Elena Danan's channel, she has Star Nation News every Monday, where she introduces you to the different races
And what channel was that, sweetie?
that are Elena Danan.
Yep, Elena Danan.
Danan is it's in the link in the video. I'll put it in
And
the
then
link,
Danny
in the
Henderson.
description in that video.
Cool.
Danny Henderson.
Cool.
And
AP.
Elena works with Thorhan. That's her primary
Yeah,
person she works with, and he is on the ships most of the time, but he does come down here apparently.
Thorhan
hmm
and Valnek.
So they do walk among
And
us.
she is actually the one that I learned. She actually gets, she's actually been on the Nibiru ship where Ea, Enki, is situated in the orbit of Jupiter. He's come back to see humanity and to give hope, encouragement.
How long ago was this talked about?
Enlil is gone. He's been banished. Enlil obviously is the baddie.
Who was that?
But
Elle,
she
did you
talks about
say?
all about this on Stan. What?
Elena Danan.
Pardon?
No, on she was
Elena
just talking
Danan.
about Enki being on one of the ships, and this delay
Nibiru
really does suck,
ship.
doesn't it?
Nibiru's a ship. I know, sorry, it's a bit deep. I just dropped that into. Should have worked my way down a bit more gently.
No,
But yeah, it's
no.
just like she explains everything. She's actually she's another one that has been off world a lot. Not a lot.
We'll have to get her on the channel.
A few times, because it's so damaging to the body. She has to be careful, you know. But yeah, the Star Nation News shows you all the story, breaks it down about Enki and Enlil. Enlil's gone. He's been banished to a planet on his solitary. He's to just put him out.
Where'd they send him to?
So everyone's out of danger. She says it in one of Star Nation News. He's been taken away, and he's just on a planet on his own.
You know, they can take Yahweh with them too, unless Enki or Enlil is Yahweh.
The way Yahweh is Enki. Enlil was these names. Yeah, they're all this. Enki is the goodie. He was the one that wanted, that was good with humanity. Enlil is the one that brought the floods, hated humans because they're too noisy. And when we started to answer back, obviously he just wanted us gone. And that's when he just brought the floods in. It was him that just did it like that, you know what I mean? And caused, that awful devastation. And he's under a lot of names through history. But yeah,
that I do buy into.
And this is what's left of the deep state. The deep state are.
Well, I contend in the United States and other world governments, these deep state, whatever you want to call these individuals, are not human at all. Don't think they ever have been.
They're reptilian.
And that's why the deep state is in such a deep state of panic.
They are, the deep state are now basically going to throw. This is why this conference was done really delicately, because this disclosure needs to be brought to the people to wake people up, to step in, so they step into their power, and then we can come together. And the more we come together, the more powerful we are. And that the deep state's panicking already because we're waking up big time, and they're just throwing the confusion out there with the information to just people that are waking up and want to research things. They're sending them down the rabbit hole, and with the disinformation, misinformation. So to find the sources, the direct sources that I know, that you know now, you've cut all the bullshit out. Do you know what I mean?
That's why I
You know
And you've
appreciate
what
got the
people like
full.
with all of these different perspectives and these different connections to these off-world beings is, I know that's probably really real. But what I'm finding fascinating is we all come from different places. So I think it's going to be so important, instead of following, really dig in and say, where am I from? What can
Yeah,
I show myself about who I come from?
yeah,
What star
exactly.
systems do I come from?
That's
What
it.
part of creation am I from? What dragon do I come from? Just like what ray do
That's
I
your
come
inner
from?
work.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's your
yeah, that's,
each person's job to do
yeah.
themselves. Yeah,
Hmm.
and
well, that's why I appreciate people like Max Vision that can teach the rest of us, remote viewing.
Hmm.
And if I can
yeah,
remote view, and if I can have lucid dreams, and if I can astral travel, chances are, I mean, I'm out there naked, so to speak, but at least I'm out there.
You totally are. It's just
yeah.
like how you can
Like,
imagine the
ta-da!
forest. Yeah, you can do it real easy. You can do, yeah,
And the
yeah.
biggest
Hmm.
thing now is to protect ourselves with protection.
Hmm.
A clearing
Hmm.
is so important. The more light you shine, the more you attract
That's what I was thinking. And
negative
cloaking, if you
demonic.
can.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
tell you for
it's
myself,
important. So
this is
important to protect
it,
yourself.
it is. This is why I appreciate my theology background, because one of the things in the Word of Faith, the prosperity message, is that we did calisthenics in faith. And when you are challenged to manifest something that the rest of the group can lay witness to, um, yeah, this is cool because, I can put it this as that my faith is my favor. It's a shield, it's a buckler. It can make me disappear in the midst of a crowd.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
can.
So I'm
yeah, I've
telling
done that
you,
before.
you know how to shift vibration to affect the material
Yeah,
realm.
When I start praying in tongues, shit starts to happen.
That's what I mean. That's
And
a
that's kind of a
vibrational
gross way of
skill.
saying it, but
Yeah.
store high
Yeah.
in transit. That's what that shit means. Store high in transit.
Sure does,
the
huh?
So it's all
the
up here, man.
thoughts, the most powerful.
What's
The
that,
most
Caz?
powerful things are your thoughts.
Yeah.
So just be
Mhm.
careful what you're
Mhm.
thinking about.
Mhm.
And it's
It's so
most
true.
importantly controlling your thoughts, what
It's
thoughts
like
you
when
have.
you do something that is exhilarating, you know, is it the actual physical thing or is it up here that makes it so stimulating, so exciting?
I
It's
think it's
like,
what's out here, because
yeah.
what's out here is what's putting the antenna that you're connecting to the construct of all the consciousness through your cells and your DNA and your consciousness. It's bringing all this, and you're plugging into certain things based on your vibration. So,
And there are people like this, I can tell
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
as a person who does gamble, um, there are certain individuals the casinos look out for because they carry a vibration that affects physical
yeah.
reality.
Wow, funny you just said that. I just heard a lady who got declined. She's not allowed to win the lottery anymore.
Is that the one that's won it like about a dozen times?
Yeah. And they
Uh-huh.
they yeah,
Yeah.
investigated
Yeah.
her and said you can't do
She's
this no more. And
fabulous.
yeah.
I knew a guy that played professional poker. And
Mhm.
yeah, people began to wonder just, well, what's up with you, man? You can't
Yeah,
freaking do that, you know? Like, yeah,
right.
you can.
That's real magic, and that's what I mean.
That's real
When you,
magic. That
and
takes
I
a
do,
while,
I think
yeah.
when you use it to control and, there's money and benefit,
Because
there
you've
could be some real serious
created
karma
those
with that. So I would be careful. Manifest, a cup of
yeah,
coffee and make sure if you get one, manifest one for somebody else who
yeah,
needs it.
Exactly. I
So,
love that.
balance, you got to always give back in this situation and make sure you're not causing harm or you're going to get
yeah.
your storing high in
It's
transit
good
back at you real fast.
as long as you worked in universal
I
law.
love it. I
Stick to
love it.
universal law, and
Yeah.
as long as you live into universal law and what you put
Mhm.
out there, remember it's going to come back. What
Yeah.
you are putting out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
true.
if you're putting out
Mhm.
love, you're getting love back. If you're putting out hate and anger, you're going to
Yeah.
attract that energy back.
Yeah.
Lynn and
So
I make it a ministry
yeah,
of ours in giving is like we will buy the dinner, lunch, or whatever it is for all law enforcement, first responders. We do that. And
Mhm.
sometimes we'll just be led of the spirit and, we'll see a family and we'll pick up the tab.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
thought, it's like playing Santa Claus. I love that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it feels better to give than receive most often.
Oh
Deborah,
yeah,
so
I
okay,
like.
yes,
You
sweetie.
see that?
Deborah, how are you doing, darling? She said she won 12 times with the same numbers.
Oh,
Wow, awesome.
Wow, I
What
just got to
numbers are they?
download. There are some people in this room, this
yeah.
group that you've been, so that's a lesson for you. It can be done. And it's just remember, you have a couple of billion others that are looking for the same thing. So what makes that one individual stand out? Because the others are just hoping.
Yeah, and the other
Very
one's
few know.
manifesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this has
no,
been
no.
freaking. And
You've won.
again, what's that, Kaz?
I was just saying, when you know you've won, you see
Yeah,
it, you see the outcome, you manifest the outcome,
It's, it's
and
it no longer
don't
becomes a big
doubt,
deal.
never doubt.
right.
It's like okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to make it this way. And I know there's other people that are wanting the same vision. It doesn't have to match identically at all. It just a common resonance of, it takes a community to raise a child and let's all get along and have a little fun doing it.
Yeah. I
yeah,
Yeah.
play a little game here in our state, and it's fun because I have this thing where I go to at the grocery store that they'll tell you that guy, me, they'll tell you he's really lucky. He's won more times than anyone else in here, and it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I've had fun with that.
awesome.
Rick says, I need some of that magic. Well, you can have it. You know,
Yeah, we all have it.
you do. You just have to exercise it.
It's brain right.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
winning, once you start winning, it becomes a lifestyle.
Because
But
you
if
hold the
you're a
frequency.
loser, people don't understand. They feed into the cycle of losing.
Yeah, it's just a frequency.
It
And
is.
on one side is loss and the other is basically
You
favored.
know what I do, Trina? I go by the energy of the moon.
Yeah, the moon's powerful. Yeah.
If the
For
moon
drawing things in,
is
magnetic property.
losing light,
Yeah.
going to a new moon, I don't get involved. But I will look at the energy of a new moon to the full moon cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And if certain dates are in the right position, that's even better.
Yes.
yeah.
It works. It's just, and
Plant your seeds
I
on a new
shouldn't
moon.
even be talking about this, but it does work.
I think it's like a universal law that we
Yeah,
just don't fully understand yet, based
Yeah,
on the magnetic power of the moon and how it does work with other planets and
it does. It
all
deals
these
with
things.
finance.
Yeah, they work
Yeah.
together. I
When I
know.
found out
Yeah.
that the Federal Reserve has astrologers,
Of
I mean,
course.
they're paying them six figures, folks,
Yes.
and they watch the
Mhm.
sun. If they
Yeah.
see that there is like sunspots, if they see that there are coronal holes, anything that's
Yeah.
sending an unusual amount of energy, it's going to have an effect on the markets.
Yeah.
Ah, has anyone else really? I've got such loud ringing in this ear constantly,
I had it
and it's like
earlier.
chitter.
They're
It's
listening.
really. I've had it for quite a while. It's quite deafening. It's just got
Mm.
louder as I said that. It's like
Well, Kaz, have you been tagged?
tagged.
Well, in other words, have they visited you
Oh,
and
chipped.
left a
Well,
chip?
this is what this. Well, that's how Elena Danan talks to Thorhan.
Hmm.
She's
To
got
a chip?
Yeah.
what they call device
Mm,
that they communicate with,
Hmm.
an implant.
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's how they communicate. It's not telepathy. It's not channeling. Never channels. Channeling's dangerous. She always talks about
Mm.
how dangerous, because
Hmm.
you don't know who you're channeling. There's a lot of
Yes.
imitations out there.
Yeah.
There is, there is.
Mhm.
That,
And Operation Crossroad
but
Lilith is the moon.
it's
Yeah.
really it's very bizarre because sometimes I have to turn the laptop off and just listen to the conversation that I'm hearing. It's like high frequency chit chat. It's it's either that or I don't know. It's just it's just got so loud as I'm telling you. It's like they don't want
Hmm.
me to talk about it, obviously.
Talking about frequency.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Well, ladies, this has been
Yeah.
Jenny, wherever you are, hon.
Much
We
love.
missed you. Kaz, this has
Oh,
been
much love, Jen.
fantastic. We got to get you back on. Because now I have lots of questions. I
Yeah,
mean, you know, the older I get,
me
the
too.
lesser I know. I just, it's like,
Mind
There's so
blowing.
much more.
yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like,
There's a
geez.
lot of
Yeah, there's
rabbit
so much
holes to
more.
go down. This place is big with potentials.
A lot of people are having ear ringing
And
right now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
ear ringing. Oh,
yeah,
it's so loud. It's constant. Um,
I only get it in
it's
short
like
bursts and it goes away,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
pick them
oh,
up a lot.
mine's all the time. It's
Yeah,
all
not
the
mine.
time. In this,
yeah.
Mm-mm.
and like, sometimes it's basically I have to have distraction of noise to drown it out.
Mhm.
And that way I don't go insane with it. Do you know what I mean? But it's it's one of them things that is a frequency. It's probably hearing my own. It's just getting definitely.
I think that's how they
Who
communicate.
knows?
You know, David
Yes.
Mhm.
Bowie said there was a star man out there. There's a star man.
Yep,
You know,
yep,
he
yep.
says he
Yeah.
really wants to come talk to us, but he's afraid he'd blow our minds. You know,
Well, I don't think so.
that's lyrics
Try
of the
me.
Yeah.
song.
Right, try
There's a
me.
lot of
I don't,
stuff.
don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in tech at the minute.
Yes, there is. Well, everybody,
Um.
what's that, Kaz?
Yeah.
This delay.
No, go on, because I know you've gone over. You've gone over, and it's so good to see you guys and be here. Thank you.
Kaz, we love you.
Mhm.
And missed you. So got to have you back on sooner. And next time, I think we can get the internet to sync up. I mean, there's obviously some buffering issues,
Yeah.
but yeah, and it doesn't surprise me. So, everybody in the chat room, thank you. Everyone watching, thank you again. Please support these ladies. And the best way you can do that is subscribe to their channels, give them a thumbs up, and show them a little love. And we'll show y'all love because we love y'all. Y'all, the best group out here. I don't think there's a better room or a group of people in chat. Barbara says Jason can talk for hours, so be ready.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I've never been accused of was not having something to say, you know.
He's matched with you, Wayne.
And I like that because iron
Yeah,
sharpens iron, you know. By
yeah.
the way, I was talking to Lynn last night after we eat, and I said, honey, would you like to know something that you probably never knew? And she looked at me and she says, all right, what? I said, I found out where the idiom eat your heart out comes from. And she goes, okay. And I said, well, it was from the silver people, the
Mm.
silver people. Yeah, I said, they ate human beings, they ate human hearts. And she said, well, just eat your heart out, baby.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't know about the silver? Yeah, they,
I didn't know about the silver beings being the
Yeah,
original
in
from the legend.
space.
Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, just
Wow.
totally
Cool.
sucked.
I'm like that. Wow. I'd like to know more about these silver beings.
Yeah, you know, and it's been, and that's something I'd love to talk to Jason about too. You know, the five races. You know, there was the gold race, silver race, then you know the bronze, and
Mhm.
coming all the way down to us, the iron ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kaz, everybody loves you, and we thank
Yeah.
you for that. Boost up, go make sure you've subscribed to
Oh,
her
I love you
channel.
too.
You know,
Mhm.
that's the
Mhm.
best way because that's something that, you know, it lasts. Yeah. Kaz, we love you. And Miss Trina, love
Yeah.
you.
I
Thank
love
you,
you
dear.
all. Love
Yeah.
you all.
Love you.
Yeah. I think, Trina, I looked back and I think we are eclipsing close to 7 years on this little
Wow.
Tuesday gathering.
Wow.
But yeah,
Wow. All I
yeah.
know is just, well, I get to talk to people that can actually, have good conversations about these topics. And it has
The thing
been
that I regret is that
grateful.
y'all are not more in my life. I mean, you know, we're literally, we could connect, you know, the whole time
Yeah.
because there's times when you want to say
No
something,
judgment.
Yeah.
but
And,
I
and
have
balance, you're like,
learned
can you believe what I just realized or what I just saw or right, what I just thought or yeah.
true story when I learned what discretion means. So I've been really working hard to get into this company. They were like the second largest post-production company, right? And got to know the president of the company. And so I'm manifesting this job because there wasn't a job before then. So part of this thing, we went to lunch and I met with the chief financial officer. And I said, when are you expecting? And she says, I'm not.
Oh, hate when that
You
happens.
learn, I hate when that happens. I
Oh,
mean, learned a lesson. However, there is a favor factor to this side of the story. When I spoke that to her, and later when we became friends, her and her husband had been trying to conceive for like a couple of years. And she said, that moment that you said that I was pregnant, she said, we conceived within 30 days and had their first child, you know, 9 months later on that.
Yes. An offense became the greatest gift of their
Exactly. I
life.
spoke it into her. And yeah, because I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
I
yeah.
had someone think I called him a prick one time, but my definition of prick was perfectionist, reliable, ingenious, caring, and kind. And I was describing my mother and saying he was a lot like my mom, the way he did things, and it was not an insult, but he completely thought that I called him a prick. It was so funny, but his staff said they'd never heard him laugh that hard in 6 years in the office. When he read the letter, I explained to him what I meant, and I knew that he took me the wrong way, and he read it to the whole staff. He called a staff meeting and everything. I think it was like one of those, you think it's an insult, but it becomes a great gift. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
All right, everybody. We love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.
Mwah.
Someone says the dragon video next time. All right, Kaz, when we get back on, because my dragon still comes to me
Well, look,
in
I've got a
times of
week.
notice. Okay. Well,
Yeah. I've
all
got
right,
a
Kaz,
week
we'll do that.
off still.
Huh?
So we'll try and get on before I go back to work,
Okay.
if you
Yeah,
like.
let's do that. All right. Trina, I love you,
Yeah.
dear.
Bye,
Jenny,
everybody.
we love you too. wherever
Yeah.
you
Bye,
are.
everyone.
All right. Thank you, Caz.